Are y'all ready to get this started?
Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
Let's get it. Here we go.
Sit your ass down and get ready for the next episode of the Urban Green Room.
The Urban Green Room.
With your host, my girl AA and that dude D. Lewis.
Hey everyone, it's your girl AA.
What up, world? It's your man D. Lewis.
And welcome to another episode of the Urban Green Room podcast. As you can see, it is a conversation with the ladies tonight. So joining us is the one and only author of Session. And hey, lady. And then we have good friend of the podcast, Rainisha McDaniels, and a newcomer to the podcast, Fox. So welcome, Fox and Ray, and we got D and Obsession, and we're going to get it kicked off right now. So, this week, totally with the fucks, I've been seeing way too many posts that pertaining to the disrespect of Black women. And I told D I got to do it. So we normally don't podcast on a Friday, but here we are. And I wanted to get this kicked off with a group of girls that I knew we could have a really passionate conversation around this. So, ladies, can we talk? I don't even know where to start because I shared a couple videos on social media, got a ton of responses. And my thing is, why? When we say Black Lives Matter, why does it seem like Black women's lives don't matter within our own community? There's a huge disconnect there. And I just need to understand what the hell is going on. So I don't know who wants to jump in on that.
Can we be a little more specific about the post?
Okay.
Let's
go ahead.
So everybody else know who might be watching or listening what exactly you're talking about. Go ahead.
Okay. So there was a post on social media where, and I'm going to say this new nigga with money took a young lady overseas, gets overseas, and for whatever reason, she decides she's not going to have sex with him. So he sent her to the spa, and while she was having a spa day, he canceled her airline ticket back home. He changed rooms on her. So when she got to the room, he was no longer there. Her key was invalid.
Obsession woke now.
And he thought that shit was funny. So his issue was he took this young lady, one, that he had never had sex with back in the States. So what made him think she was going to give it up when they got wherever they were supposed to go? Two, why he didn't take somebody he already had sex with and knew how she was going to react to being with him, if that's the way he get down, whole nother topic. But three, in a day and age where human sex trafficking is an issue for us, every day Black women go missing, and we still don't even talk about that. That's a whole nother podcast. Took her overseas without a way to get home and thought that shit was funny. So she's stranded in another country. Doesn't matter if she had money to get home or not. The issue is there was a blatant disrespect for her life at that moment. He put her in danger. He assumed because he paid for whatever ticket and hotel that she owed him sex. And then to even add to that, the comments about the young lady from women in the social media thread all seem to diss her. I'm talking about, well, it's her fault. She knew she would have to pay with sex. It's her fault that she went somewhere and she didn't have money to get home. She's dumb and naive and she deserved what she got. Who's laughing now? The bitch is, now she's stranded. Good luck in getting home. And as I read that, my first instinct was, how recent is this post? And is she okay?
Right.
Not, fuck her, she got what he deserved. Next time, call me and take me with you because I'd give it up for a trip. It was comments like this that I was just like, okay, this is out of control. Because no one's thinking about the possibility that she may never get home. Not because she can't get a plane ticket, but because sex trafficking is a real issue for Black women. We go missing. Where is the help and the love and the outcry and the support for her? So that was one of the posts. And I saw Obsession, I saw your face. Anything that you want to say? Like, I it's just crazy to me.
That type of behavior or response from the Black women or women or whoever, actually used to that. It's still kind of annoying, irritating, but in our industry, we get a lot of that. They feel that way. First of all, that stems from jealousy as well. Ain't nobody taking them nowhere, flying them nowhere. They didn't gave up for less. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that's what I take from it. If it was that, they wouldn't have responded like that. If it was someone that I'm sorry, y'all. Somebody coming in. Oop, can y'all see me?
Yeah.
Y'all gone. Okay. Yeah, so it comes from like jealousy, it comes from just flat out hating. And it's like we conditioned to forgive or overlook or look past or give chances to men, but with women, it's one and done from both men and women. Like we make a mistake, we just foolish and we stupid and we got what we deserve. But when a man make a mistake, oh, he just being a man, he gotta grow. Women mature faster than men, and all this other stuff. It's like so much, empathy or sympathy or whatever for men. Like it's growing pains with them. But we supposed to know, make the proper choices, make the right decisions, make everything from jump. There's no room for error with women. It's really not. Especially when it comes to parenting, when it comes to relationships, there's like no room for error. So I just think it comes from jealousy. I mean, they didn't did less. I mean, they didn't got less and then gave up their bodies or whatever, and ain't nobody even flew them to Vegas. Miami, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, for real.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Ray, I saw you shaking your head in agreement.
Well, everything she's saying is spot on. Like women from birth are groomed to take care of other people, to consider other people above themselves. Like we are taught from a very young age that our feelings are secondary. And especially as Black women, we are taught like the man is first, the man is the head, the man is this, the man is that. And that you're always supposed to elevate the man. And even in rearing our children, we expect more from our girls than we do from our boys. And I think it like really starts in the home, like teaching your boys that they are not just mindless sex beings who get to do whatever they want, sleep with whoever they want, and they are without responsibility for those decisions has to start at home. Teaching your daughters that cooking and washing dishes are requirements, but to your boys that they're electives. That's not okay. And that's really where this toxic behavior begins. It begins at home. And then you have to address like the single parents, moms raising men in their homes that they don't like. And they're teaching their sons to be the men that they procreated with, that they don't care for and that they don't like. And until that's addressed, then it's going to be really hard to address the whole rape culture and how men just have this sense of lack of responsibility for all of their choices. They're kind of just let off the hook from getting no accountability.
Being accountable. Oh man, it seems like that's the last lesson a man learned is how to be accountable. That's like the last thing they come into. You know what I'm saying? Because it's never, like you say, from the beginning, we have to be accountable. We're groomed and trained from the beginning. This is how you behave to get a husband. Even all our toys and stuff as little girls, it's around family. It's around home housekeeping. It's around everything to please a partner. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I made a post the other day. It's like, to society, it's okay for a man to spend money to have sex with, for him to pay for the reuse of your body. That's called being a hoe. If you make him pay for the reuse of your body, but it's okay for him to wine and dine you and stuff to have sex with you. Like, what is it? I don't get it. So.
Fox, did you have something that you wanted to add?
Again, everything that they have said are congruent. And I feel that, like they said, from children, from early childhood, we are groomed to always take responsibility for someone else's actions. So if you dress a certain way, or don't put your legs up, don't wear that, don't do this, because then this is what they're going to look at you, and this is what they're going to think of you, and this is what you're going to say about you. And that is literally drilled in our head from the time we're able to walk and talk, to take accountability and responsibility for other people's thoughts, actions, and behaviors. And it's so bad that now that we see someone else, a woman, be in a harmful situation. That was a harmful situation.
Yes.
And for our first thought to not be the whereabouts of her, well, is she okay? What was her well-being? Did no one ask that? Our first thoughts were, well, what did she do to put herself in that position? Why did she think that was okay? Why didn't she deserves that because she knew better. Well, why couldn't it be, that man that she was supposed to have been entrusting her livelihood and her well-being, forsaking her? Like, why isn't that the issue? Why is it okay to shun women for wanting to act and do in a safe space that they feel safe, and it still be our problem that someone has done us wrong? Why is it looked at as that way versus the other way, that man was wrong, regardless of what he assumed he was supposed to get or whatever? She could have even led him on and said, oh yeah, I will, and then renege. We have that choice, but why isn't that not a thing? Why can't we have a choice to change our mind? But a man can change his mind and say, oh, well, since I'm no longer going to keep you safe, I'm now going to put you in harm's way because I can change my mind since you changed yours. Like, me not having sex with you does not put you in harm's way, but you changing the room, changing my flight, leaving me literally by myself somewhere where I've never been because you didn't like the choice I made. My choice didn't affect you physically. Your choice affected me physically, emotionally, mentally. And that's just, it's sad that we have gotten so programmed to the point now that we are beating not only ourselves up, but we are beating each other up because we're so programmed to feel like it's always our fault.
So I'm going to add to that.
People like to...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say people like to blame the victim until they are the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So they doing all of that, but there's no way they would want that reaction and that response if the shoe was on their feet. You know what I'm saying? So that's what people forget. Before they react or respond to something, they don't ever think, man, that could have been me. I mean, a lot of people have went somewhere, flown somewhere, or drove somewhere, or whatever, that they don't know the whereabouts. They're not too familiar with. That could have been anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But they're not thinking that because they're not there. It's just, that was sad.
Yeah. No. So I'm gonna add this to it. Because if this young lady was white, I don't think it would have went down like that. I don't think if the young lady had a strong father figure in her life, it would have went down like that. I'm going to even go a little step further. I don't think if she was light-skinned or mixed with the curly hair, I don't think it would have went down like that. I think he chose to do it. I do. The way the text read, and for those of you who have not seen the social media post on this, I will put it on the Urban Green Room's Facebook page so that you can watch it and be thoroughly disgusted. But there was an interaction with his buddy who was like, no, don't do it, right? And he's like, no, I got to teach this black bitch a lesson. So he intentionally did this.
Right.
In my heart of hearts, for some form of hatred of black women. Because his friend even said, like, you power tripping. And you need to calm down. And I was just like, so he do this often? Is this his MO? Is this what he do when he can't get his way and black women don't treat him or give him what he expects from them? Again, that false sense of entitlement that they think they have to us. I believe that he is a habitual offender when it comes to this type of behavior. Because again, if it was a white woman, it wouldn't happen. Her mama, her daddy, her grandfather, her grandmama, he would have been arrested. That white woman better come home. If it was somebody who was mixed, again, she better come home. But when it comes to us, and the sad thing is, he was a brother, somebody who should have been a stand-up kind of guy and said, you know what? Fine, don't have sex with me. Let's just go do something and let me, in my mind, let me maybe see what I can do to change your mind. And if you still at no, we had a good time meeting each other and we ain't never got to see each other after this. Whatever the case is, no kind of...
There was no grace given. She was given no grace.
No, none whatsoever. And he even went on to say in his post that he laughed when she tried to use her debit card to pay for a one-night room, and it was declined. And he thought that was funny. He sat at the bar watching her suffer, watched her start crying, and thought it was hilarious. And I was like, wow, because I happen to know for a fact, depending on what type of debit card or credit card you have, if it's not coded correctly by your bank, most foreign countries will not accept it. So it's not maybe that she didn't have the money. Maybe she needed to pick up the phone and call her bank and make some arrangements for the payment to go through. Whatever the case is.
Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah. And the thing is, there was no one there to give her that support either. So again, he sat back and had an opportunity to make some things right, and he just didn't. And it frustrates me because it was my sister. I don't even know this girl. I don't know her name, how old she was, but it was somebody who looked like me being taken advantage of by somebody who looked like me.
Right. Yeah. I think it really speaks to the fact that, like, as Black people, we have to do better with one another. Like, we've come so far and we've worked so hard to try to overcome and to try to be above this system of oppression that we are all born in. But, like, we have not done much work to repair the relations between the Black man and the Black woman. And there are so many Black men and Black women who do take that extra care for their brother or their sister in different situations, but there are so many more who don't. And as parents, like, we have to do a better job at raising better people. Somewhere along the way, his parents unfortunately failed him, and I would hate to put all the blame on them because they're not 100% to blame. They might have taught him better than that, and he might have just made a choice to be a terrible human being. A trash person.
Trash individual. Garbage.
He could have made that choice too, but it's just like, when did we stop holding ourselves accountable for our individual actions? What gives us, and I feel like our day and age of social media also gives us the okay, because we feel like our opinion matters that much. Like what we say is law. And social media kind of gives you that shield. Like, you don't have to pay for what you just said. Ain't nobody there. Like, if we talking face to face and you say some stuff, I might pop you, and you got to deal with being popped because you said something out of pocket. But if you online and you behind the shield of the computer, you can say and do whatever you want. The keyboard thug. You can say and do whatever you want, and there's nobody there to reprimand you. The consequence has been removed. And so you have a lot of different things that are into play, but at the basic level, his humanity was absent, and how he treated that young lady. And it's rape culture. He felt like he's entitled to her body because he paid for this trip and because she chose not. How dare she insult him? His ego was damaged. And a lot of men don't know how to deal with when their ego is damaged. You got a whole generation of Brock Turners. You know, Brock Turner's father had the nerve to tell the judge, my son shouldn't go to jail for 5 minutes of, what do you call it? You call it a 5-minute lay. The girl is passed out behind a dumpster, damn near dead. Your son is raping her, and you talking about, he don't deserve to go to jail for 5 minutes of pleasure? He gave this girl a lifetime of trauma. Her life is shattered at this point. And so it's that mindset that, a woman's body, it don't really matter. It's just an object of a pleasure for me for this moment. And there are no other consequences. And some Black men have also adopted this notion because that is the society in which we live. And they're not being challenged or taught anything different. And their friends also need to hold them accountable. Their friends, their parents, moms and dads are at fault too.
Yes. Yep.
So D, you've been kind of quiet.
It's having the right people in your
y'all want me to talk now?
It's so important.
Yes, I want you to talk.
Y'all
Go
want to hear
ahead.
from me now?
I mean, you're the only man in here. You better say something.
I think y'all been actually pretty fucking nice and cordial. This is fuck nigga shit at its best right here. There is no other way to really explain this. Like, I can't comprehend doing that to somebody. Even if, so I expected I was going to get some pussy. I ain't getting no pussy. All right. I ain't fucking with you no more. I ain't flying your ass across the seas no more. You know what I mean? It would never have crossed my mind to leave this young woman stranded, though. Like, I might have been pissed. And then, you know what? If I got money like that, you know what? You get your own room. I'm going to stay in my own room. We can do our own thing. And then we just go home and we ain't got to see or talk to each other no more. I mean, like, but
in her trip early, like, you going home today.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, you can even do that. You can even do that. But the fact that you would endanger her life that way because she felt she didn't want to give you none is I think is a little ridiculous. And it's I've been hearing everything you guys said, and I think a lot of it's true. I think most of it's true, actually. There's a lot of systems at blame here, I think. It comes down to, it starts at home. So you got some home training, but it's not just that. It's everything that we allow ourselves to put in our mind. You know what I'm saying? So these types of behaviors are learned over time. Nobody wakes up and just says, you know what, I'm gonna strand this bitch in Africa today. Nobody does that. You know what I mean? So these types of behaviors have been manifested, learned, and nurtured. Unfortunately, they've been nurtured over time. You know, think of the things that we put into our minds. Think of the music we listen to. Think of the movies we watch. Think of all these things, and then look at what other people are doing to us. So we look at, you know, unfortunately, we're not training ourselves to think differently, to think independently from whatever else is happening in the world. And unfortunately for this young woman, she fell on the other side of some dumb motherfucker not understanding that it's not his right to fuck her just because we went somewhere together. It's not my right. I don't have the right to just fuck you because I paid for you to come see me, or we went over here together to this place. You know, so, but over the years, think about it. That's how we have viewed our relationships and our interaction in the Black community. Think about when we're young, the things we hear. You know, all that shit becomes normal over decades of continually hearing it. To where this shit is standard. Yeah, you know what? There's probably millions of other men out in the world say, shit, if I flew her around there, I better get some pussy. Why? Because that's the culture that we've developed. That's the interaction that we've nurtured between Black men and Black women.
But
So
how many men actually, like, they say that? But they just say it because it's words. They're saying it to
I'm going to challenge you on that. I'm going to challenge you on that.
That's not the norm, though.
No, I'm challenging you because, yeah, you got that many people that'll say it, but not that many people can actually do it. Now, let's break that down to how many people can actually do it. And all the motherfuckers that say it, that can do it, will do it. And a lot of the people that say it that just don't have the means will do that shit too. Something like that should never come out of somebody's mouth. That's an adult and that's mature. I mean, as a kid, if a teenager saying some shit like that, that's a correctable moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, young blood. This is it right here. This is how you got to move in that situation. But a grown motherfucker should never, ever come out his mind with something like that. That is a problem to me. So I'm not just going to give niggas no leash and throw it out there and say, well, no, they say it, but they don't really mean it. Think of how much shit that, let's break it down individually, that we say, that we really mean. And it be some fucked up shit sometimes. Come on now, let's just be for real. Let's just be for real.
When I say I'm gonna punch you in your trachea and watch you choke.
Yeah.
I would never do that. But I would do that.
Absolutely. So I'm not buying the fact that if somebody says it, that they won't do it. And the proof is actually in the thread you was talking about. All the people, and it was women who were commenting on this shit, who were blaming her for what happened. Now, I am a proponent of we do have to own the decisions we make to a certain extent. We do, because we do them. That's just part of being alive and being an adult. But this situation is not her fault at all. You know, so she can't take any blame for being stranded. Now, if you wanted to throw something out there, you might be able to get away with, man, she might have had thought about that a little bit more to go with somebody you don't have that type of relationship with. I don't know what their relationship was, but it still does not and should not ever justify that situation. That's just the way I see it.
And I didn't want to be the one to throw that out there. Like, I need more information. Like, I need to know what kind of relationship did they have to where she found him safe to go that far with. Like, I have never traveled anywhere with anybody who I very much didn't feel like I could let you have a piece of my life in your hands, because I feel like when you leave your comfort zone with somebody, you're basically entrusting them with your life. You don't know people nowadays. People are crazy.
But Renisha, it's, you got to look at it this too. This is different. Society's different. So that's the way, you know, somebody our age might think. Somebody 20 years old, and that's what they've seen their whole life, because it's all over social media. All these people are posting these beautiful pictures and they're traveling with all these different people. You hear it in a lot of songs. I flew this bitch out for 3 hours, whatever. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not blaming her for that. This is just, you know what I'm
Right. I
saying?
don't blame her
This
either.
is normal
I don't blame
culture
her
right
either.
now. Right? So I'm trying not to think like 44-year-old D. Like if D was 24 right now, if D was 22, what relationships do people really have? Most people only have social media relationships before they actually come together. You know what I mean? So I don't care what kind of relationship they had. That's some fuck nigga shit. And this nigga,
No, he's totally
this nigga
out of
need to
line,
have his
and I
ass. Word.
No,
he's totally wrong. I don't think that she should bear the burden for his choices at all. Those were his choices, but I just wanted to know like a little bit more to kind of understand the situation more. But no, he absolutely is 100% to blame for counseling and stranding her and all that by himself. Like questioning why they went on the trip, like that's a completely different podcast, because it is irrelevant because he made those choices on his own to strand her.
Because I highly doubt she would have went if she didn't even feel even those iota of safe. She had to have felt safe. Like this could have been just someone that she was a platonic friend with this whole time. He's had a crush on her this whole time. He's thinking, this is it. I'm gonna nail it. I'm going to fly her out here, and then she's gonna fall in love with me. And then it backfired, and then like she said, his ego was bruised. But I don't know how old everyone is in here, but I'm only 33 years old. So I'm not too far. I like to think I'm not too far removed from someone in their early 20s.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And even then, I've experienced a lot of stuff in my early. I've done a lot of stupid stuff, gone on flights and did stuff I shouldn't have did. And by the grace of God and my praying grandmother, I'm still here. Okay. But even then, I knew that there were just certain things I needed to know. I needed to always have money. I don't care how much money you have. I need to have my own. I always wanted to make sure that, yes, I'm safe with you, but I needed to know where we're staying. I need the confirmation number to the hotel. At a young age, there was just certain things that I knew that I had to have just in case, even though I trust you may do some crazy stuff, or what if you die, or what if someone snatch you up? You just don't know.
But you know
and
what?
I didn't want to be stranded.
And I get that because I have done shit that could sell books if I wanted to talk about my life. I've been flown out. I crazy shit, just bad stuff. What I do know, I was just like you. I needed information. Like, because I had to protect myself. However, when I look at young women today, if I'm poor and I've never gone anywhere, I think about a lot of young women who have never left their state yet because they don't have the means yet.
Their city,
yes, their city, and I have an opportunity to go overseas. Go ahead, Obsession.
It's a lot of people don't leave their state, not just because they don't have the means. They can't even see that far sometimes.
Yes.
All they can see is their hood. All they can see is their town. So if she gets some dude that's talking about, I'm going to show you this, you ain't never seen this water is the clearest around here and all this other stuff. You ain't never been past the west side of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it ain't always the means. Sometimes they just can't see that far for themselves. They just never thought they would leave that place.
Yes, exactly.
And then some smooth talking, some with the gab, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, man with the gift of gab that could talk the pennies off you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this was a case of stunting going wrong.
Yes.
He went to stunt and it backfired. You know what I'm saying? He probably didn't even have to do all that to get what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? He probably could have been actually genuine and could have got more than what he asked for. So I mean.
No,
so I heard, ladies, I heard Fox and AA talking about, they've been in situations and but they knew to ask for certain information. They knew how to protect themselves. Why are our women today, why don't they know these lessons that you guys know of how to protect themselves in a situation like this?
The people today, the people today got the "it won't happen to me" mentality
Yeah.
with everything.
And
It's
not
not
social
just
media.
this. Look at how many look how many women, kids are being killed by their boyfriends because they think that happened to somebody else. It can't happen to them. They got this mentality. Look how many get off work at night and walk down the street with headphones blasting. It ain't gonna happen to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that played a big part. And I think a lot of people have tunnel vision. Oh, I see this girl on Instagram. She met this dude. He got her Louis Vuitton. He flew her out. Even though it's red flags, danger, danger, danger. All I can see is this because that's what I want. And that's the only way I'm gonna get it is by letting this man do it. Because for some reason she can't see that she can get that shit herself if she grind. And you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She feel like the only way that she can get that lavish or that experience is through that guy. So everybody, okay, she did it. You know, I can do it. But what people don't understand is what's for somebody else ain't for you.
Right.
She might have been fine, but that might not be what you need to do. But they got this, it won't happen to me.
I feel like this generation is
So-
missing real storytellers. Like, listen, Sugar Free told us if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. They need a Sugar Free. We know. That's why. I'm telling you. That's why we know. That is why this generation don't know to ask the information because E40 said it. Sugar Free said it. Tupac said it. Everybody that was listen. You always stay with your back against the wall and people what's going on and always be ready.
And our female rappers too, like our female talkers,
they
were all
always
about self-empowerment. Get this for
ready.
yourself. Get the bag yourself. Chase the bag yourself. You know, we were raised by
Foxy
a
Brown,
generation
they
of
Lil
strong. We
Uh-oh.
have strong women who like do for yourself, power for yourself. And this generation behind us is really lazy too. Like they want the instant fame. They want the instant all this. The men, you know, everybody wants to be able to show this persona of who they are on social media, but they don't want to take the proper avenue to get there. And I mean, and again, this does not fall on this young lady. Like everybody has a fault to play. And the young man, he had no humanity and he had no respect. And it doesn't matter, like if you have respect, you have respect. It doesn't matter who you're showing respect to. You show respect to everybody just because they're a human. And he did not have that.
Just basic human right, just basic human care.
Yes.
Obsession.
It's just, there's so many things to discuss. Like there's so many things. And it makes me think about that Cardi B video where all the women were going off on her. It was just like the place of a woman is under a man. You know, stop going to school and going to work. Like, you know, just be under the man. It's just when did we
Yeah, that
when
was
did we
another
get to a
video
place to where,
we should probably
we
talk
have
about
no
tonight.
value?
Yeah.
So
So let Obsession go because I didn't hear what
I
she
wanted
said.
Obsession to go because I think she had a response to the music piece of that when you ladies were talking about that.
Oh,
Did you have a response to that,
yeah.
Obsession?
I mean, they don't have that type of music.
No.
They don't have that type of we had like a lot of our movies like in the 80s and stuff, it was a lesson. It was something to learn. It was they ain't got it in the music, they ain't got it in the movies. Like we had higher learning and you know, all that stuff. You know, they don't have stuff like that. They don't have anything. We dealing with a whole bunch of tunnel vision, materialistic, emotionally underdeveloped. And they want instant knowledge. Nobody wants to research. Nobody wants to dig. Everybody wants to type in a word on Google and find something. Nobody wants to take the time and open a book. Nobody, like it's just like everything is
Right.
instant, everything is no, there's no guidance. Like everything they us old heads to them, we don't understand the times to them. Like we ain't just lived through some shit. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? We don't to them, we don't understand the times. So what we say going one ear and out the other. Listen, I used to do some shit when I was young. I just used to threaten niggas. I'm in your possession. You know what I'm saying? I better go back the way I came. You know what I'm saying? You gonna send me back. You know, and that's physically, that's everything. You know what I'm saying? I just used to threaten niggas. I wasn't playing. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I mean, because men, I don't mean to reduce men to this, but one of y'all jobs in life is to protect, period. If I don't feel safe with you, why the fuck? What is going on with your circle? You know what I'm saying? Your circle, you ain't got nobody to tell you to get off that fuckery. You ain't got nobody to tell you, you know, that this is not okay. Like how another man can be with a man that ain't a man. So how y'all friends? Like how y'all, you know what I'm saying? How y'all brothers? How y'all bros? I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they don't have that. Like we held each other accountable. That's why older people, they don't have that many fallouts with their friends because they know you got your friends for different things. You got your friends that's gonna keep it 100. You got your friend that's gonna coddle you. You got your friend, you got your party friend, you know what I'm saying? With these new people, they want all of that in one person. That's impossible. You need a circle to keep you balanced. That's gonna give you everything. And these people don't have not in music. They can't get it from music. They can't get it from these movies from nowhere. They just out through these
they just
90s
out here.
kids or whatever
So
to the wolves.
I
They just
agree with you, ladies. I also go back to I think there's an absence of sisterhood. Like we got like even right now, I'm bringing together women who I respect and feel empowered by, and will help challenge me. And when I was in my 20s, like if we all went out together, we stayed together. We talked about this earlier. You know, we go to the bathroom together. If one of us leave if one of us leave the club, we all leave in the club. One of these heifers get over drunk. Guess what? You fucked it up for all of us. You sloppy drunk now. We leaving because we about to fight behind your ass. Yeah, there was a sense of accountability for all of us together, and I don't think that women today have that because like I didn't date your ex. Like if he was your ex, he was your ex. That nigga was off limits. I'm not
We
dating
all
him.
are ex.
Yes. We didn't do
Everybody
that.
ex.
And I feel like right now, anything goes with these women. They accept any kind of friendship. Oh, well, she slept with my man, but we still cool because I slept with her man, so I got her back. I don't know where that works. And
Wait, that's the thing?
Yeah, that's the thing. And you also got the group of women who, you know, I'm a confide in you and I trust you. And then they go run to the next girl and they tell all your business. Like where is this sense of, I guess not even secrecy, but the ability to confide in each other and know that you have my best interest at heart and that you're not going to take that information to hurt me. Like there's no unity and sisterhood with these women today. And it bothers me because we shouldn't be that far removed.
That's the thing. It shouldn't be. But see, that's the thing. Like we always talk to look for red flags with men, but we not talk to look for red flags with our friends.
Right.
With the people and not be in your circle. She shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? It's not hard to give a fuck. It's not hard to be respectful. It's really not. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard to give what you want to receive. It's really not. You know what I'm saying? If you got somebody in your circle where you have with that shit with, it's time to get the hell on. That's it.
I know
That's
right.
why there's no accountability. That's why it's none of that. Because people keeping people around because of obligation. She might have helped you out when you ain't have a place to live, so you feel like she got to be your friend. You know what I'm saying? Or you got to be her friend and stuff like that. People keeping people around that's not helping them grow. That's watching them basically make horrible choices, endanger their lives and stuff like that. And we talking about him, and I agree, it's not her fault, but she also didn't have the right circle.
No. Because I'm gonna tell
What's up, Viv?
So,
hold on.
Hey, yeah, let's get Vivian in
Hey,
here.
y'all, sorry about my
What's
tardiness.
up, lady?
I had
You
a
good?
family emergency, so I had
Nope.
to take care of that before I hopped on. So
All
peace and
good,
blessings
sweeart.
to everyone. How everybody
Let's catch
doing?
your ass up because I want to
Yes.
hear your thoughts for sure.
Well, what's going on? What's going
Shit.
on?
All right. Let me go on because
Go
I
ahead.
ain't
Go
shit.
ahead.
Y'all done kept my ass from talking today.
Go ahead.
Shut you
So
down
basically,
from all
Viv,
that
we talking about
talk.
this video. We talking about this video about not a video, but it was a post. I'm sorry. Some nigga flew a young woman over to another country overseas somewhere. And long story short, she wouldn't give up the ass. He changed rooms on her, canceled her flight back, basically left her ass stranded.
In another country?
In another
country.
In another country. React.
So easy when you smile, when you hold my hand and say, oh, I love you, baby.
Ugh, that's a little dicey. That's a little dicey situation because I wouldn't have put myself in that predicament anyway. I ain't going if I'm not fucking you, I'm not going overseas with you because my thing is she should have known that was the expectation off the flip from going. It don't make it right because she has a right to decide whether or not she's gonna fuck that man or not or whatever. But what was the basis of the relationship? Was this like she just met this man and he flew her over, or they friends? And what was the whole situation? See, I need to know all the specifics of the situation.
So that's just it, Vivian. We don't know. So the other part that Dee left out was so she's stranded in another country with sex trafficking being an issue, especially among Black women.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like her life was valued by that man. So yeah, us today we would not do that. But the issue is the response that we as Black women had for this lady. So like when I read it, when I saw the post, I immediately said, where is she? How current is this post? Is she okay? However, the thread of comments was like, she's a dumb bitch.
Yeah.
She should have known better.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm not empathetic like that because my thing is common sense rules all the fucking time.
No,
it's always
but
about common sense. But also, I would have made sure that I had the money to get myself back if I'm going to take that trip over there. Didn't we learn from the dumb bitch who spent her money and hopped up to go see a nigga who catfished and left her ass in Houston or something? At least that bitch was in the States. I'm sorry, but that was reckless of her. That was fucking reckless of her. That was stupid of her. But that's the problem with these young girls. They
and
think
that's
that
just
because they cute, the motherfucker gonna do shit for them just because they cute. Oh, I'm cute, so he'll do to the bitch now. He wants some pussy off the top. That's why he's being nice to you. That's why he's doing these things for you, bitch. It ain't that he just a nice motherfucker. Them only exist in romance novels. Like how many motherfucking who she been reading? How many novels she been reading? She must
Not any of mine.
The millionaire boss. What is it? Wasn't that you obsession on? I'm tired of these millionaires saved by millionaire ass books. She been reading those motherfucking books. Them the books she been reading. Cause come on now.
Thanks for joining us, Viv. Appreciate it.
So Viv,
Yes, ma'am.
So it transitioned to, why are the younger generations so messed up? Why did she not have common sense? Because I'm a
didn't teach her. Her mama, she didn't have a mama or a big sister or a big sister figure or an auntie, a TT, a G-Mall, a Medea. She ain't had nobody tell her. That's what it is. They ain't had nobody tell her, because at 14, I told my niece, if a nigga gonna do something for you, he wants some ass in return. The only person gonna do something for you is your daddy, your granddaddy, your cousins, your uncle, somebody in your immediate family. They will do things for you and not expect anything from it. But an ordinary nigga on the street, he wants some ass. It's a few genuine men out there that will do something, you know what I'm saying? But baby, Viagra is real. And these old men ain't playing with these young girls today. They did get hard now. It used to be you just go in there and they pat you on the ass or pinch your titty or something, and you get your little money and stuff, and you in the door like, girl, just sit here. Hit the block. Hit 2 blocks, and I'm gonna be right back out. Now, bitch, now she calling back talking about, girl, you might as well go on and come back in an hour, because Mr. Willie took half of that pill, and one of them testicles is tight and that dick is hard, and he's going to fuck you and get all that $350 out. Bitch, I get you from 3 years ago when he first started fucking with you. Mr. Willie finna cash out, bitch. He finna cash out. Bitch, you finna pay out. They not playing with him. They not playing with him. I'm telling you. I be seeing it happen. I just be sitting there like, yeah, bitch. He showed you something, then you thought you was just gonna let him tap you on the booty. Nah, bitch. No, he wants some ass now, bitch. He wants to go in. Yes, Mr. Willie wants to go in. And that's
my God.
But
I am dead.
didn't nobody tell her. Didn't nobody tell her about going to see the man? See, when she thought her mama said she was going around the corner to see a man about a dog, she was going to see about the dog instead of mama saying, I'm finna go sell some pussy so I can come back and pay these light bills. She should have explained that later on in life to her that's the that's what's going on. Seriously though, for real. So she didn't know no better because she didn't have nobody to tell her better. That's what it is. These young girls don't have people to tell them better.
That I can
But how
agree
did
with.
that happen? You wonder, where did that disconnect happen? What generation dropped the ball to communicate?
Our parents.
But I mean, our parents.
I would say, okay, so how old are y'all? If y'all don't mind.
33.
Okay, so y'all parents, because part of it was when our parents, I'm 45. When our parents were younger and stuff, a lot of us, when they got pregnant,
I'm the oldest person
it was
in this
over.
group.
Huh?
I got an
I'm the
old
oldest
soul. We're
person
probably
in
the
this
same
group.
age.
I guess so,
Didn't know that?
girl.
No, I didn't know I was the
You the
oldest person in this
wisdom.
group.
You the wisdom, honey. You the wisdom. You the wisdom.
No, but see, my parents are old. So I have an older sister who's 41. So my parents are in their early 60s.
Okay. So your parents is with my parents.
Yeah. And then my sister, you know, and we were taught the same things that, you know, our people who are in your age bracket know. And I had to drive a stick. I had to learn how to drive. I learned how to drive a car in a stick shift because the number one rule was, if my Papa G, may he rest in peace, if a nigga started cutting up, you always had money and you knew you could drive his car.
You drive your ass home, right? Say that.
And so those are the things that were instilled because of my grandfather, who was, you know, alive and dealing with things and had to deal with the white men and the, you know, you just didn't know. So he had all of that. And then my mama, and then what generation in between there? Because there's a disconnect because I know it, but there's somebody who's 5, even maybe 2, 3 years younger than me that don't know that information. So
that's when we stopped having big mamas. We stopped having big mamas. We stopped having a matriarch in the home that was old enough to pass down some wisdom. And I'm going to say, case in point, the minute that the mother is 30 No, the mother is what, maybe 30, and her child is 20 or 19 or 18 or 15, half her age. She hasn't gained the wisdom herself. She's
But
still
see,
out
that's
in the
the thing.
streets.
Yes.
Now she out
Yes.
in the streets with her daughter. There's no wisdom behind that. And then
Mhm.
God forbid, her mother only 15 years older than her. So we got 45, 30, and 15. There's not
The
enough
parents are
wisdom
growing up
being
with
passed down.
the kids and the parents are growing up together.
Mhm.
There
You
you
know,
go.
the kids and the parents are growing up
Position.
together. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. But with that being said, when our parents, my mother was married at 16 years old. Her and my father, she was a senior. My sister was at my parents' high school graduation. Because as soon as my mom got pregnant, her and my dad got married. Because my daddy said that, you know, he wasn't bringing back the children into the world. So they took on the responsibility of, we got kids, so we have, you know, my mother was like, my life stopped. I had to raise my kids. Whereas some people, and it's more so, I say, like, I'm 45, my sister is 50. So I would say her generation, but her line on down, a lot of them, their moms forced them to raise their siblings. So they never really got to have, you know what I'm saying, their life. So they ended up starting having kids young too. And so everybody is still growing up together, and the parents, instead of them raising their kids and passing things down, as soon as Lakeisha or Tommy old enough, they finna start watching the kids, and I'm finna jump back out here in these streets and live my life. And when they jump back out here in the streets and live their life, they not teaching their daughters anything. They're showing them bad habits. Well, they're teaching them something, but they teaching them bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
They running these niggas in and out of the house. The girls are saying that, you know, you just need a nigga who got money, or who's doing this or who's doing that, and not really teaching them any morals or values. If your mama and daddy, if your mama don't have no morals and values, she's not gonna teach you morals and values. So then what the fuck you gonna do? So the disconnect is too many of the parents, if you go back two generations or whatever, the parents are too busy trying to live their best life and saying fuck they kids.
And I think also to add
true,
to that,
but
you have also the world
Oh,
is
hold on.
And so,
We got two of y'all talking at once. Hold on.
You can't.
go ahead.
Who's talking?
Go ahead, Obsession.
You want me to go? I'll go.
Yeah.
So what Viv said is true, but also you can't teach your children too much of shit if you ain't there. A lot of these moms working 2-3 jobs because they single. Grandma's still working, and everybody can't retire. You know what I'm saying? So grandma really can't sit around with kids because grandma's still working. And a lot of grandma, your brothers and sisters didn't woke me out as a babysitter. By the time you have your kids, they like, no, I done raised my kids. I'm tired. I ain't watching my kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody getting nothing. I mean, how can you teach if you out the house more than you in the house with your kids? And that's the case for a lot of people. You know, what they say. You know, you said that, this one gotta raise the siblings. I had to do that. I didn't have a childhood in many ways. I had to get them off to school. I had to get them home from school, get them out of their clothes, do their homework, cook, make sure they don't kill each other, do my own homework, and the whole nine. I was made to grow faster than I should have. But I also had a house full of adults that didn't give a fuck. That was self-centered, all about themselves. So a lot of what I learned was about trial and error and out here in these streets to the wolves. So that's another thing. What you don't get at home, people tend to try to search for outside.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't get guidance at home. So I looked for it at home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's all into bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, because I was in the streets. You wouldn't have never guessed because I was an AB student. Never skipped anything, but I did a lot of shit that I shouldn't have been doing. You know what I'm saying? And like she said, by the grace of God, you know what I'm saying? I understand why I ain't in jail. You know, and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? We talk about common sense. Common sense ain't common. Like it should be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of these kids was raised up in the Jordan area. It's all about, if you listen to these young girls, I have me Jordan so I could dress them up. They sons got more Jordans than I ever had. You know what I'm saying? These kids, anybody with kids know your kids' feet grow every 3 days. So you buying them these shoes, you know what I'm saying?
With no expectation.
It's about the outside with this generation. Ain't nobody, putting into themselves. Ain't nobody feeding their soul, feeding their mind. Ain't nobody trying to. It's about how you look. That's it.
Exactly.
They don't want to learn shit about how to.
There ain't no chicken soup
They don't
for
want
children's
to
soul.
learn how to cleanse their soul. They want to learn how to beat their face for Instagram. They want to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel about it. But
yeah,
you can't really teach them.
At that point, they're uncoachable or unteachable
But you
because
have
the world has
Ray
already
Nisha.
taught them. Ray, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was saying you also have there's so many different issues. Like there's so many different ways that you can look at the issue, which is really I lost the word, but the moral fabric of who we are is unraveling. You have parents that are not able to pass the information down to children. You have children that are now, they have access to things that they wouldn't have access to if there wasn't for social media. Now, I'm a poor girl and I can get in contact with a rich boy who's able to fly me out without my parents' knowledge. My parents don't necessarily know what I'm doing. And I can do things that I wouldn't necessarily be able to do before because you have the internet. And so if my parents ain't never been nowhere and they ain't never been flown nowhere and they don't know nothing about that, then that's not something that they can teach me because they don't have those experiences. So you have a lack of knowledge being passed around because everybody's working, because we're still in poverty and the cost of living is much higher than what it was. And we're having babies super early. And I don't have this knowledge because I'm growing up with my kids. And my kids are raising their siblings because I'm out partying. You got 50 million different problems that all have to be addressed. And they all lead to information. We need to take better care of one another. And we don't take better care of one another because we're so busy trying to be accepted. We're trying to be accepted on social media. We're trying to be accepted between one another. We're trying to put out this perception that we live in this life that we might not necessarily be living. And we get ourselves in situations, the man too, because now he's in a situation. What if that girl pressed charges on him or something? And now we have another Black man in the system. And it's just for what? What was all that for? For laughs on social media and for likes? You stranded somebody in the middle of nowhere just so that people could comment and like what you did or hate what you did or be envious or jealous of you or whatever. But it's a lot of unfortunate issues.
When you said that reminded me of a video, and I'm not telling this to get anybody upset, but it was upsetting. There was a video of a man who slapped a woman in the face with a skateboard, I think it was. A Black woman. She was denying him.
Yes.
Have you seen that video?
Yes.
So, and what shocked me most, not even the fact that that was just in awe that he slapped her in the dead of her face with a skateboard and knocked her cold out on the ground and then turned around and laughed at it. And then his peers were laughing at it, recording and condoning it. And then the men all down that thread of that video were like, yeah, that's what you don't disrespect no man. And that's what she did. She shouldn't have told him no. It was just all down and it blew my mind. I said, this man just literally knocked this. Yes, in plain view for denying that man access to her because she had a boyfriend. That's all she says. No, thank you. I have a man. And he didn't like that response. And I feel like these types of videos are being done because, like you said, we now have access to worlds we did not have access to. When you got bullied, it was the school you were bullied in and the neighborhood you lived in, and that's it. You now can get bullied from someone who live in Dubai that don't even speak English. It's going because you got translator now. We're so absorbed in getting the instant gratification, the instant acceptance, the instant like, the instant everything.
Well, for that don't strike me as that. That strikes me as him being a bitch ass nigga, his mama a bitch, his daddy a bitch ass
But
nigga,
he
and
would
didn't
not have
nobody
been-
teach him that it's okay for a woman to say no, thank you, or whatever. She's still a woman at the beginning of the day. If you felt some type of way, you could at least slap her. Why you hit her with a motherfucking skateboard? Because now, bitch, you finna die. Because as soon as I wake up, I'm not calling the police. Because 9 times out of 10, she knew who that nigga was. I'm calling my brothers. I'm calling my cousins. We finna take turns whooping this nigga, and we finna set his ass on fire. He's
But
finna
you
burn
ain't even-
alive. We're
you
going
ain't
to
even
take
get that
care of this nigga because he a bitch ass nigga, and we gonna stress the fact that you a bitch ass nigga because only a bitch ass nigga will put their hands on a motherfucking woman. Point blank.
Facts. But the fact that it was okay for him to even feel so comfortable to be able to do it and then post about it, and just like the man who left that woman stranded felt so comfortable with doing that and then posting it, it is because of
He gets
He a
that
bitch
instant
ass
gratification.
that instant acceptance. But I feel like the breakdown really had to affect, because the Black Panthers were our community's safety, our community's police. They, whatever we needed in the Black community, whatever the Black community needed, woman, children, man, the Black Panthers were there to provide it. They were our own policing. And I feel like somewhere after the civil rights and we really got some headway, we got comfortable and stopped teaching values of security, camaraderie, safety to our children. And then it just perpetuated, because I feel like teen moms have been going on for forever. My Papa Gene had an 8th grade degree, education and had to work. He had his first child at 17. My grandmother was a 19-year-old mother.
But the men are not allowed. The men are not in the home. The men are not in the homes.
Back then, the men were in the home. They were working, and the women were doing what they were doing. But somewhere in between, when after we got a little headway and made some headway in the civil rights, there was a disconnect. I really feel that happened because the level of comfort that men have of doing women of any race, but Black especially, being comfortable with doing that and having their counterparts and their peers okay it, and then to post it in today's society is just mind-blowing. And it had to have started somewhere. And I feel like once we lost our sense of security and being able to lean on each other, sense of pride and community and who we were, because we've been torn down so many times. And then once we finally got a little bit of acceptance from the white man and the segregation was ended, and now we can do and move freely, we lost some sense of ourselves once we accepted that ability to move freely within the white community. And then that's when I feel like it really just started to downgrade, because the stories you used to hear from my grandmother, my great grandma, bless her little heart, had stories to tell, and you don't hear that anymore. There's no more stories being passed down. And now people won't even sit down long enough to listen to a story. If there's and I'm guilty of it, if this video goes past 2 minutes and 49 seconds, I'm out. I ain't got that kind of time.
But you know what
I
else?
don't got it.
The other piece of that too, something that you just said, like after the acceptance into the white community, we stopped policing each other. We started taking on characteristics of white
holding
people.
each other accountable.
We don't whoop our kids no more. We don't discipline. We talk and time out. And some of these kids out here, if they got a good ass whooping, they just might be okay. Like he might not have hit that lady in the face. He might not be a bitch ass nigga. She might not have got on that plane. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like we stop being accountable to each other and disciplining and steering each other in the right way. I remember I had neighbors growing up. If I did any shit and my neighbors found out about it, best believe my mama knew. And my mother never said, don't ever come and tell me nothing about my damn daughter.
Right.
Mm-mm.
No,
Today?
tell me what she did.
Yeah,
It's
tell me
either
what
people
she did.
around the corner, down the street and
Yes.
around the corner that's gonna get your ass together.
Yeah, listen,
Yes.
and I remember one time one of my neighbors yoked me up, grabbed me by the arm and said, "Get your ass home," and took me to the door. You can't do that today. You can't do it.
No.
She said, "Get your fast ass home," and took me by the arm down the street. You cannot do that today. Like, so
No.
that accountability to each other as a community, done. The
Lost
minute
that.
we got that type of acceptance from I feel like the white culture in general, we did away with that. We assimilated yet again into some of their behaviors, and they have been negatively impacting our culture ever since. And one of
It's
them
the
is that
niggas
boy
trying to
hitting
be
that.
like the Joneses. Call it what it is. It's the niggas trying to be like the Joneses.
Self-obsession.
That's what it is. They thought they moved up to the east side. So, you know, it's just like urban sprawl. It's just like how like in St. Louis, for example. A lot of Black families lived in the city because at the time they wasn't messing around, you know what I'm saying, out in the county. It was like little small sections of our counties that had, you know, Black communities or whatever. But once they opened up the gates and allowed Black people to move out in what we consider the county, which is kind of like the suburbs for other people, baby, it's called urban sprawl. All of a sudden, all the niggas wanted to run out to the county and left everybody left the city empty, you know, in a sense, for the neighborhoods to become dilapidated and different things like that. You know, it's the same thing. It's like once people felt like that they can compete with white people or do what white people do, they forgot about Black people. They forgot about the culture because they was too busy trying to be like the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to live like the white people live. And so when they did that, they started adopting their ways because they started moving out there living amongst them. You know, the ones, you know, a lot of people are guilty of that. They turn their nose down at the people, at their family members who still live in the city or in the urban areas, but they live out there with the white folks, and they think that they've arrived. You know, it's niggas like that all around. Because if a nigga think that they have arrived, a lot of times it's over. That's why we have so many Black athletes and stuff marrying white women. And then now it's the Latino women. They get them a Latino woman because they figure that because she a minority or she a brown woman, then it's better than having a white woman because I ain't gonna get as much flack. It's that's a nigga mentality. You know what I'm saying? That once you get a little two nickels to rub together, you forget your people and you run on about your business.
And you forget about all this melanin.
Exactly. Exactly. Who you came from, who you derived from, your ancestors.
Hold on, Viv. Let's
like-
give Obsession a chance to get in here.
I feel like parents sometimes get a little arrogant with their parenting. You don't realize the type of that you in war and with society for the soul of your child. You know what I'm saying? For the spirit of your child. You should never be so arrogant in your parenting that you think that what I'm doing here got a chance out there in the streets, because most of parenting, your morals and what you teach them will be tested out in these streets.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So don't be so arrogant, like, oh, people put too much stock in ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? Ass whooping, time out, everything that you teach is gonna be on front line when you go to school, when your child walk down the block to the store, this is what a lot of parents don't understand. That peer pressure is a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? We forget sometimes as an adult. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of parents beat themselves up when their kids, like, I can imagine what his mama thought when she saw that video of her son smacking a girl with a skateboard. I bet you she thought, where did I go wrong and all this other stuff.
Right.
You can teach your child everything, but once they get around people who they want to be like or seem low, so they want to be a part of the crew, or they don't want to be teased, so they got to go along with this shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of children don't have the courage to say, if that's what y'all want to do, that's fine, but that ain't who the fuck I am. I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of parents get like real cocky, like, oh, my child know better. They may do know better, but sometimes what you talk to them don't stand a chance against what's waiting for them in these streets. It really don't.
And do you
know
feel
what
that
I'm
the
saying?
privileged are the privileged are more guilty of it than the ghetto counterparts? Privileged
I can't
children.
hear you.
I said, do you think that the privileged children who do things like this are the ones that sometimes it seems like are more guilty of it than anything?
Yes.
No.
Guilty
of what you just
right.
of what you just said, the peer pressure. You know, when they're out there in the streets, the peer pressure of things.
No.
I don't. I'll let you go first, because you do. I'll let you go first, but I disagree with you. I'll have a dissenting.
So I just
point.
want to make sure I heard this right. We're saying that the more privileged the child is, the more susceptible they are to acting this way.
I said, I posed the question. I said, do you think that these children, the privileged children, are the ones who are more guilty of what Obsession was talking about, falling under the peer pressure of behaving the way that they do, knowing that their parents taught them better, yet they still do. You know what I'm saying?
So this is my take on it. Yes, in the sense that most of the kids that are privileged that do those types of behaviors do them because they're privileged, not because of peer pressure, but because they know they can get away with that shit. So that's my take. Yes, they're truly at fault because of that false sense of privilege that they do have. Like, I won't be held as strongly accountable for that shit as somebody who doesn't, because I do have privilege, because I do have both parents, because I do live in this community. And we see that when we look at white people and or white children and the things that they're able to get away with. When we compare apples to apples, half the shit that they do is way worse than half the stuff our kids do, but our kids end up in juvie and in jail and with these high sentences, and somebody who's, done something exactly the same will get probation, ankle bracelet, or a slap on the wrist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Daryl?
I didn't say anything. That was Obsession.
Oh, go ahead, Obsession.
No, I was saying the reason I was going with you, the reason why we get punished and stuff like that, because, and they don't, is it's a value on their life.
Right.
It's not a value.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with.
So that's
I agree with that piece of it, but
it's magnified.
I said no, and this is why I said no. Taking color out of the equation, it's all the same. Like, everybody, all these kids are being pressured and being exposed to the same shit. Like, it don't matter where the fuck you come from, if you got two parents in the home or none of that. Everybody's being exposed to the same shit today because everything's more connected than what it was back in the day. You know what I mean? So that's like saying because this household has two parents and this household has one parent, this kid don't know no better. Nah, fuck that. So what are we calling privilege? You know what I'm saying? Because most of the people I fucking grew up with was in single parent households. And we all fucking knew better. But what was right, what was wrong. And we did the shit anyway.
Right.
What I'm saying. So what are we calling?
Socioeconomic is the factor of privilege. It has nothing to do. You can be a single household, have a single parent household, and your mama can still make way more money. I have friends who I lived in a double parent household, but I have friends who lived in a single parent household, and they mother made way more money than both my parents put together. So it has nothing to do with single parent household versus two parent household. Privilege is privilege. It's the
point I'm making.
Socio-economic thing. I'm looking at it in socio-economic.
Let's go socio-economic then. It's the same thing. Like just because this household makes, say, 100,000 a year, and this household makes 40,000 a year, it doesn't mean that they're exposed to different pressures as kids. As kids, they're all being exposed to the same shit. You know what I'm saying? The only difference in that scenario is this $100,000 household kid may not have to go home and live in a neighborhood that's as dilapidated or dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as exposure to behaviors, like,
Go Obsession.
I don't necessarily agree with
Because she
that.
shook her head no.
I agree. One thing I don't agree with, they not all exposed to the same thing. Not everything.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know any white kids that got to worry about being handed a pack and saying that you got to sell this to get past. You know what I'm saying? They do that in Chicago. You can't go to school if you don't drop this package off for me or do something. The white kids, they got to go through that. I don't know of any white kids that have to run from their house to go to school because if they walk or stroll or whatever, they may get robbed or jumped. Any white kids that oh, there you go. I don't know any white kids that don't get to go to in-house suspension before they get suspended outside. I know a lot of Black kids that get outside suspension first. They don't get in-house. So for it being exposed to the same things, just like Rainisha said about the dude that raped the girl. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, his dad said he don't deserve time because for 5 minutes, what Black father would have said that? What
Not
Black
a
father
one.
would have said that? Not a one. So
I agree.
they not exposed to the same empathy, sympathy, the same scenarios. They may run into the drugs at school, yes. They may
Yeah, I'm not
into
talking systematic exposure. We're not talking systematic exposure, I don't think.
I mean,
Like,
but
so-
you said that they exposed to the same stuff, though.
Right.
I'm talking about everything.
without
They
being
exposed to-
okay. Well, if you
Are you
okay,
talking about like social media aspect of exposure?
I mean,
so I
mean,
was
yeah,
not
they
thinking
exposed to
systematically.
online bullying together. Okay, they exposed to online bullying together. They may be exposed to drugs together. They may be exposed to the teachers or whatever trying to hit on them together. But it is some things that brown kids have to deal with on a daily basis.
We
So
were
they
talking
not
all
exposed.
brown kids, though. We weren't talking Black kids versus white kids.
No, you said race. Did he not say take race
I said
out?
take race out of it. Like, we just take Black and white out of it. Like, you got a Black kid and another Black kid. That's what we're talking about, right?
So I was talking socioeconomic. That it seems like the privileged ones are the ones who go the extra mile and doing ignorant shit.
Yes. That's how I see
You know,
it.
we
Okay.
have our classic assholes in the hood or whatever. You know, every hood has an asshole. You know what I'm saying? You always have that asshole, and you know there are many factors on why they're assholes. You know what I'm saying? But the privilege seems to overdo being an ass, so they take it to an extra mile. They and the funny thing is they put it on YouTube and get paid off the bullshit. You know, the ignorant, they get paid off they ignorant.
Okay. Put it.
I just the level of disrespect for Black women it just bothers me. It just, because I would never want somebody to do that to you, Viv. I would never want someone to do that to Nadine, to Obsession, to anyone.
To anyone.
And me not speak up. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I got a bunch of little nieces. I had to tell my one little niece, we raising queens, not hoes. Just because you see girls on Instagram shaking their ass, you thinking that that's the way to be, and that's not the way to be. We're not raising those types of women around here. Because I'm gonna show you what a hoe is, and I start giving her examples of family members and people we know. Now I ask you, who do you want to be like? And when she got the gist of, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, she used to, like, we didn't have Facebook and all of this, but she used to be in the middle of the street shaking her ass. Now look at her. You see her walking down the street, she a crackhead. She this, she that.
Come on now, Viv.
No,
for real though, because that's a part of what you have to teach kids nowadays. Because kids think that you're supposed to be the dumb bitch who went and met a guy out of town, thinking that she was finna have a good time, and come to find out, no, bitch, he left you stranded. You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna be the bitch that's stranded, or are you gonna be the bitch sitting at home like, this nigga thought I was stupid and wanted me to go do this X, Y, and Z, but I'm like, nah, nigga, cause I do it myself. Me and my girls can go, or something like that. He's not my man. He's not obligated to me. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't expect something for nothing.
You said you teaching your niece, but like, that's the thing. We always have to prep our daughters. We always have to prep our nieces. We always have to prepare them.
Yeah.
Why we got,
but nobody's
ready for fuckery? Why can't we teach the sons, the nephews, you know, not to do that, so they wouldn't have to be prepared for this shit? Like, why do we have to warning, caution, like all the time with the girls?
Because the men aren't being, you know what I'm saying, taught that. You know what I'm saying? My nephew is very respectable, because my nephew knew that we would beat the fuck out of him if he ever disrespected a woman or did something of that nature, because he's 24. We taught him too. You know what I'm saying? We taught him how a man, he didn't have his father in his life, but my father was a father to us and a father to my nephew, and taught my nephew how to be a man and what men do. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, it is, you have to do it on both hands. You know what I'm saying? But my nephew's 24, my niece is 12. You know what I'm saying? So her mom is dead. And so as the aunties, we have to instill certain values, you know. It was one of them things like, your mom is dead, so we have to pick up the ball, you know what I'm saying, and carry you the rest of the way through life, because your mom is not here to teach you these things.
No,
you know, so yeah.
Viv, I commend you for teaching both your nephew and your niece. The problem is, not too many people are talking to the boys.
Yeah,
and I'm with Obsession. We get taught too. Women get taught all, like, we got to be prepared. We got to do this. We got to look both ways. We got to, you know, be aware of our surroundings. What about teaching the men, our black men, our black boys? Don't do this shit. We don't treat our women this way.
I agree.
That to me is the bigger issue, especially now when I see everybody, all these, the blatant disrespect for black women that black men are doing right now. Like, somebody should have taught them. And the problem is it's a little too late. But you know what? In some instances, some men are taught that, but they just natural assholes, and they're going to do what the fuck they want to do regardless. Because my brothers were taught. You know what I'm saying? They were taught how to treat a woman, but they assholes. And I used to always tell them, you better watch how you treat these women, because what God gonna do is he's gonna bless you with daughters.
I said, and you're going to get to experience firsthand what the fuck it's like to have a daughter and have a daughter come to you and see how you feel when your daughter tell you that a man disrespected them or did this or did that. Y'all be ready to take their head out. So you need to think like that in return. You know
And
what I'm saying?
now,
My brothers
yes.
was taught that, but they some assholes. So they have their moments and stuff. But I was always the one there to tell them, nigga, you wrong. And wait until you have your daughter. Wait until you see this. Wait until you see that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I used to give them shit and flack all the time about their behavior. I used to tell them, y'all so fucking embarrassing. My brothers and my cousins. Because I used to hang around nothing but boys. Y'all so fucking embarrassing. You know, I used to clown him. I remember being at the club. I had one brother. He used to get sloppy fucking drunk. And he had a bad habit of slapping women on their ass and groping them on their ass.
So to watch your response and everything and to listen to y'all, I know y'all have had that. Y'all
Right.
seen that, y'all experienced that. You know, a man, you know, not disrespecting y'all like that, not you know, feeling protected and, you know, not experiencing that stuff. It doesn't move me because I've never known anything like that ever.
When I say the level of security I feel around my brothers, for you not to have that makes my heart hurt. Because I want to give that to you. And I would do that to my girlfriends who didn't have brothers. You, my girlfriend, my brothers are your brothers now. If y'all, and I would say that to them, if you see her out and she look like she in trouble, if she at the club and something ain't right, y'all get her ass home. Y'all protect her like she's me. I wish I could have done that for you. Because I just don't, I cannot imagine. Even to this day, none of them speak to me. None of them. None of them. But if I needed them, without a doubt, I know they'd be right here. Like if I called them and said, D acting up, that nigga hit me, them motherfuckers would be right here. No, I wouldn't even, the fact that I called
You still want them around?
Huh?
Still want them around?
Shut up. The fact that I just called them and we not talking to each other would be enough to know that they know that I'm serious and that I need them. So I'm sad that you don't have that type of support from Black men, because that's all I've known my whole life.
I know that, how could I put it? We shouldn't, I don't want to seem, what's the word, pessimistic to the Black man and the Black woman relationship, but it's really, I really haven't seen anything that give me hope that we would ever be on accord, ever the Black man ever feel like truly loved and supported by the Black woman, and the Black woman feeling protected and feeling respected. Because I guess it's like I said, it's just because I've never seen it and I've never experienced it ever in my life. And then when you watch the news and you log on to Facebook, I'm seeing my life, my childhood. Another Black man hurt a Black woman, another Black man recording a Black woman being hurt. You know, I mean, we march, we'll jump in front of the police, we go to hell and back for them, but I haven't seen one video where a Black man stopped a policeman from doing something to a Black woman that he was arresting, or, you know, anything like that. I don't have no positive view on our relationship as a Black man and Black woman. It's not something I I don't want it to be like that, you know, for somebody to change my mind. You know what I'm saying? When is somebody gonna protect me? You know?
This shit breaks my heart.
I don't know.
Yes, it does.
It really does. This shit
It
breaks my
does.
heart. I don't know where the fuck I've been for a lot of years, apparently. But I really didn't think things were bad as they were. You know, and I think it's when I got involved with social media, when I started actually seeing these things, that it was a thing. Because in my mind, yeah, we all black people and we trying to fight the fucking power. And so in my mind, I naively thought that we were all working on this together.
Mhm.
But sadly, we are not. And this shit is heartbreaking, man, because I don't know what the fuck the problem is or how to fix it. Like,
But in
there's
some
no
instances,
fucking
too,
way. Now, listen, if we all out together, the 4 of us or the 8 of us, however many of us are together, and shit go down, and one of my sisters is disrespected, now let alone my wife, that goes without saying. But
Right.
even one of my sisters, if y'all disrespected, there's no way that shit is flying. No way. And I don't know how naive, and I'm typically don't admit to myself being naive, but apparently I am, because I thought niggas moved like that still. Because like most niggas I know are like that. I mean, that's just, I think it came up with the way we moved when we was
The way
growing
you
up.
were
Like,
raised.
that's what you do.
But some of these young men are seeing their moms get their asses beat by the boyfriends, and he's still there. You know what I'm saying? Mistreating the kids and all of that. And the men are still in the household. So some of that comes from them seeing their moms taking this shit off of random niggas or whatever and thinking that it's okay and that's the way that you're supposed to treat a woman or whatever, because they're seeing their mom go through the stupid bullshit, the baby mama drama, and all the dumb shit.
Yeah.
If nobody teaches
Yeah.
them, how they gonna know? And if you leaving it up to a lot of these women to teach these boys, they ain't teaching these boys shit. They teaching them how to be bitch ass niggas. Because they should be teaching them, even though it's not a man in the house, they still should be teaching them to respect women. And it's not all, because it is some women out here that have raised good young men. I have friends that have raised good young men. I got one, she got 4. And they 4 of the damnedest, but they respectful. They know that if they're anything but that, she's gonna fuck them up. But they have a grandfather, they have uncles, but their dad is in their life too, and he don't play this shit. Him and the mom's not together, you know what I'm saying? But he'll catch a flight to take care of one of their asses if they step out of line.
Yeah, they got people that's gonna hold them accountable and show
Right.
them the right way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you don't have that, you oblivious to your behavior.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I'm saying? Like you talk about these kids making dumb decisions. If nobody tell them, you need to stop and think and stop diving in head first and you know
Right.
all this stuff. If you don't have people to tell you to stop, wait a minute, or to think about this, or whatever, if everybody from family to your circle to your co-workers, ain't nobody saying shit, they just watching you walk down the wrong path. People, to be honest, with these young people and people, older people who stuck in their ways, you really can't tell them shit.
Right.
A lot of people, you telling them the opposite of what they want to do, you hating, you doing, you know what I'm saying? You know, and shit like that. So, I mean,
They want a
you
yes
just, it's,
man. They want a yes man. They want somebody to agree and
Yeah.
go along with every motherfucking thing they do as if it's okay, and it's not. But yes, they want a yes man. They want somebody to go along with the okie doke, whatever they say and do.
So
right.
Um,
Everything.
go ahead, say what you can say.
Oh no, you go.
I'm done. I'm sorry, guys. I'm about to start crying. And I'm get ugly on y'all.
Yes, because you're gonna make me cry.
No, because
Yes, I don't know. I don't get it. And how can you, it doesn't compute. Something's not adding up to me.
Yeah.
in my mind. It's just it's the shit's not adding up, and we can come up with all the fucking reasons and excuses we want, but at the end of the day, as a man, I know my job is to protect.
Yeah.
That's why I have the physique I have. Like, that's why we built different. We're built to be strong at different things. Like, that's why we come together and we make each other better.
Right.
I mean, so how can I not? Like, I've done shit just for people I don't even know. Like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to sit back and let somebody whoop a woman's ass. I'm just not doing it. I can't compute how we allowing this to happen and that it's normal in our community. I just can't. I just can't.
I mean, it's normal,
it fucking
like
bothers
everything else that's dysfunctional in our community. It's normal to be emotionally unstable. It's normal to compartmentalize our feelings. All that dysfunctional shit is normal with Black people. You know what I'm saying? Expressing ourselves in the Black people.
It's the we don't have feelings thing.
Right. Expressing our feelings outside can get us killed. Expressing our feelings inside the Black household can get our ass whooped. You know, everything, we have to keep everything in. We super angry, emotionally undeveloped. We are about, I want to be seen more. I feel like, especially this generation, more than respected and more than understood. You know what I'm saying? That it's all about popularity. It's viral.
Yeah.
On social media. You know what I'm saying? Everything is about see me. And I want to know why. Were you not seen as a kid? Because in my generation, I'm growing up being an 80s
You ain't want to be seen.
Was, probably seen, not heard. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it was in my household. You know what I'm saying? So I can't imagine them 90s babies and 2000 babies going through that. That's a totally different time. So why do they want to be seen? And why is everything about getting laughs or getting approval or getting praise from people around the world that you will never probably meet in person in life?
They were introduced into a narcissistic society, and they got pushed instead of getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And now here we are. That's a part of reality TV. Reality TV kind of brought that on because, a lot of these people wouldn't even be popular and we wouldn't even know who the fuck they were if they wasn't putting these fake bogus ass lives on TV and having people think that that's how they supposed to be or that's how they supposed to live. I remember making a post about the word petty. I said, it's interesting enough to me that people think it's cool to be petty nowadays, and they throw that around as if it's this great thing to be. I said, I remember as a kid, being petty get you slapped down to the floor. My mama would slap the shit out of us for being petty. It was not a good thing to be petty. It was a bad thing. It was not a good
niggas out
thing.
on the street will whoop your ass. You'd have to square up for being petty.
You will get your life took for being a petty motherfucker. I ain't seen motherfuckers get stuck for being a petty motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So since when have these certain negative, behaviors become popular? You know what I'm saying? Being the snitch has become popular. What it is a lot of these weak ass niggas got the strong ones. They either dead or in jail, and the weak ass niggas are the ones who have all of a sudden became the popular ones. And the weak bitches have become the popular ones and telling you that this how you supposed to be and you supposed to do this and this and that. And you sit back, when do your moral compass or when do your mind kick back and say, hey, that ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? I had to tell my niece, bitch, that ain't cool. And I had to call up, bitch, that ain't cool. Being petty is not cool. I said, you get beat the fuck up for being petty. I said, your grandmama used to slap the fuck out of us. Let me be petty towards my brother, your daddy, or be petty towards my sister. Any of us, we getting in trouble. We getting knocked the fuck down and told that we don't do that shit. That's not an honorable thing to be petty. Come on now. But television has Talk kids, that's how they're supposed to be. It's like television and social media is their everything. You know what I'm saying? I sit and talk to the girls that I work with. They sit up and watch these stupid ass YouTube videos. And I said, I don't understand how y'all just sit here and watch this nonsense. Because that is all this is nonsense. You sitting up here steady watching these videos of these white kids doing all this dumb ass shit, and it's supposed to be cool. Like, no, this ain't how you supposed to be. No, this is dumb. Why are you filling your head up with this dumb shit?
It's all about entertainment. They not trying to learn shit. They not trying to retain information. They not cognitively. They not trying. It's all about entertainment to them. And that's why that dude, that girl, was skateboard, and it was recorded. Just a nasty ass message on Instagram. Yes, I did. I found him, and I sent him a nice motherfucking message. And as well as that boy that girl turned him down, he threw her inside the garbage can. Did
See,
I didn't see that one.
I don't be watching this shit.
And
they put the phone in the garbage can and watched her cry. But see, both of those dudes made posts, apologizing but not apologizing. Because they turned because people was eating them alive.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think about this shit, the damage. And now they thinking about it because people is coming. It never crosses their mind the type of emotional they just gave those women.
Mm-hmm. The trauma.
You know what I'm saying? But see, us Black women are really good with hurting and still loving. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because what those boys did to them, they still gonna have a boyfriend. They still gonna be a good girlfriend, even though they scarred the fuck up from what happened. See, and I'm sorry for what I'm finna say, girl. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I kind of feel like forgiving niggas is like one of the worst things we can do. And this is why I say that.
Oh yes.
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to shit on men, but from like my experiences and stuff like that, forgiving motherfuckers, forgiving these men into doormats. Like we done gave them an inch back giving. Now they finna take a fucking mile.
Let a nigga slide.
You know what I'm saying?
Think he can ice skate.
Black people, you gotta forgive because that's what God wants us to do and stuff like that. Give to the point that we don't realize that they're no longer hurting us. We're hurting ourselves now. You know what I'm saying? Constantly accept this disrespect because we gotta forgive and we gotta still support. You know what I'm saying? It gotta be some kind of form of consequence. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what to do at this point because as you guys saw my live a few weeks ago in Chicago is really bad. The disrespect towards women that say no or don't want to, have sex with them, don't want to even give them their number. I've been almost ran over with a car. I had a gun pulled and spit on. The whole nine. It's like super bad, and I think about that all the time. Like, when is it gonna be the day that I'm not gonna walk away from this? Just saying I'm tested or no thank you. Yeah, I understand she had to know he was gonna want something, taking her across seas. But just like he could have brought her across seas and decided and saw somebody else and decided he didn't want to spend that time with her, and he could have saw somebody else was like, no, I want her in my room. I want to kick it with her the time I'm over here. I don't want to kick it with you no more. He should have respected her decision to change her mind. We don't even know if she changed her mind. She might have never even agreed that touch. But the fact that 2 letters, no, You know what I'm saying? N-O. He tried because she said no.
But we have to learn how to put ourselves in better situations, for real. And no means no. I'm a firm believer in that. But again, we have to put ourselves in better situations, for real. Because like you always say, nigga send for me, I don't pay my flight. Nigga, you finna put this ticket in my name and we gonna get it fixed where you can't take my shit back. Give me my money and I'm going to purchase my own fucking ticket. And I'm going to make sure that you don't have the reins where you in control, have that much control. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way he should have been able to change the young lady.
He looking at the situation as a young person. You looking at the situation from where you are now at your age. This a 20-some-year-old. They stupid. We just talked about they ain't got the guy.
But it's amazing how as much social media as they watch, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm willing to bet money. She seen the girl in Houston and called the girl a dumb bitch. I'm willing to bet money she has seen at least one of these chicks that has been on Instagram or on one of these social media sites that have talked about being catfished or stranded like this or whatever. And she called all kinds of stupid bitches and dumb hoes and things like that. So yes, she young and yes, she did. You know, they do make feeble mistakes and shit like that. But this is still an era of information. This is still, you know, a lot of them were dumb and not told shit, but it's still an era of information. And you see shit like this on Facebook all the time. You be posting all the fuckery that be going on. I be like, where she get this from? I ain't never seen this or whatever. Because in a sense, I don't really watch the videos and be on it, you know what I'm saying, like that or whatever. But when you post it, I be watching like, what the fuck? Get out of here. I be so surprised, like, damn, but I know the stupid shit go on, you know what I'm saying? But I don't be, you know, watching the shit. I don't entertain it. You know what I'm saying? I may see the shit and scroll right past like this fuckery. I'm not finna watch this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna give this nigga my view because it look like it's stupid. But come on, sister. Come on, sister girl. You see, you that dumb bitch now because you talked about the dumb bitch in Houston. So you that dumb bitch now because these young girls are quick to talk about they sis. About a bitch being dumb and this and this and that. Bitch, you done watched enough Love and Hip Hop to know. Come on now. Housewives, all that. Come on now. Come on now.
Yo,
On that note,
let's close out the show and then we can still kick it after that. On that note, Vivian has shut the motherfucker down. Oh my God.
Viv gets the last word.
Viv got the last word. Shit. Hey, she came in hard. She ended hard. So shit.
It's Scorpio season, but I love you.
I knew she was gonna say that.
Yeah, we love you, girl.
Love you.
So this has been the Urban Green Room, y'all.
I have friends that say, you don't act like a Scorpio, and I just be laughing. I just laugh it off like, yeah, I just don't know. It has took many years for me to cultivate and become the person that I am today.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I'm thankful.
Here's the look into the next 45. Oh, man. So this is the Urban Green Room for you. And I got one last thing. All you
sitting on the porch with a pistol, goddamn, and shoot them motherfuckers, because I ain't playing. By the time I get 80, I ain't playing. I'm sitting on the porch shooting pistols at motherfuckers. Get the fuck away. I'm not playing with these cats. I'm telling you, I'm not playing with these cats. God damn it. I fucked with cats many a years. I'm an old lady. I'm be one of them old mean ladies. You
gonna let me close this damn thing out, Vivian? God damn. Hey, yo, this is it, y'all. It's been the Urban Green Room Podcast.
We out.
We out, y'all. Peace. Goddamn.
Thank you for tuning into the Urban Green Room Podcast. Let's keep the conversation going. Hit us up at urbangreenroom.net or on our Facebook or IG page.
I always follow them.
Tell us what you think about today's conversation. If there's a topic you want to discuss, let us know. And by all means, tell a friend. The Urban Green Room Podcast, giving you something to talk about. Until next time, we out.